Howdy, DVD folks. How is everybody today? Hopefully everybody is fine. Um, Back to some sort of normality here at my place. Sorry about the brightness. I am going to fix that one of these days. I'll wait till everybody comes in. I did have Anthony here for some reason. He disappeared.
Yeah, StreamYard kicked me off. Told me I had to log in.
Oh, bastard. Um, I thought my spies were actually working. I told them not to disconnect your internet now because you're home. You know, we just had to turn off the security cameras when I was there. They've done their duty. So I'm going to say a quick hello to everyone. So Monsville, sorry you're not going to be here. Have fun with your guests. You should turn around and tell your visitors not till after lunch. Mum and son, how are you? Tammy and Ray, how you guys doing? That was, if no one's seen it, Tammy is giving away some of her layouts to a good home. Go and have a look at it and reach out to it. I tell you what, that pirate layout in particular, I said in my own eyes, that will be one amazing layout. It's a shame I can't have it here. I don't have the room, have I, Anthony? Not in the train room, anyway. No, we didn't see enough of each other. I tell you what, we had a fantastic time. I'll get back to that.
It's a battle of wills. See, if one of us doesn't show up to live stream, it proves the other one's stronger. So we have to keep showing up even if we don't want to.
Oh. Is that the way it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. See, if I didn't show up, you'd be going, ha! Superior Australian willpower. I outlasted them, so I have to show up. Got to keep the American flag going. USA, USA. No,
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Tomo, how are you, buddy? Nice to see you.
So hi, Randall. Hi, Andy. Hi, Dwight Curry.
G'day, Andy.
Hi,
Randall.
DeMarco, Tammy and Ray, and everybody else.
Steve P-Sap, how are you? No, we didn't see enough of each other. I tell you what, the time
came
that
too
they
quick
were
and
here,
ended too soon.
Oh, it did. But they know they've always got a place here. If they ever want to come back down again, they've always got a home here. So, and we had a fantastic time, even though we pushed a lot. I pushed a lot to make it worth their while, because Anthony, he said he may not come down here, so I wanted to show him some of the things that really stood out, things that I enjoyed as well. I know I'm going to rave on again. I was pissed off with my birthday dinner cruise. The only thing that was good about that was the dessert and the company. That's the only thing that made up for the bad cruise. But everything else went well. I got him to get down to see Greg because they've known each other for a very long time. We went down there, tried to get him drunk. I think my cousin nearly done a good job on that one, didn't he, Anthony?
No, I didn't get drunk, but yeah, it was good stuff.
It was good stuff. So you want more?
Yeah, palinko.
Palinko, yep.
Hungarian palinko. Yeah, Hungarian moonshine. Boy, all I had to do was tell your cousin that he made good stuff, and he decided to break out everything. Oh, here's my cherry flavored, and here's my walnut flavored, and here's my hazelnut flavor, and here's my strawberry flavored. Try it, try it, try it, try it, try it. I tried it. I was a
And
little
of course,
green the next day. I was a little green the next day, going through all those hills driving. Problem is, I had like 5 or 6 shots of his palinko, different types of his palinko, and I take meds at night that say don't take with alcohol, and I didn't leave enough space. So yeah, the next day I was a little green, combining my medicine and alcohol. It was, but yeah,
you and
your uncle's moonshine is pretty damn good.
my cousins, yeah,
Cousin, I'm sorry, cousin's
cousin.
moonshine.
Yeah. I tell you what, I got to say, his is a lot better than my dad's, my stepdad's, because at least George is nice and smooth and just goes down. I actually had some last night for medicinal purposes.
Medicinal purposes. It clears your sinuses up, that's for sure.
Well, it cleaned. Look at what happened to Joyce. She had a little bit on the first night there, and she pretty much cleared up by the next day, didn't she? So
yeah, it cleared Joyce's sinuses too.
Yeah. Heavily into beef flavor. Yeah. Well, I went to the club last night talking about that, Andy. I tell you what, it was rigged. I swear, this guy here, he bribed his way into that meat tray. I don't know how, but I'll tell you what, I'll try to get the meat tray, and we had the same number of people at the club last night, and I didn't win it. Not even, I mean.
Hey, it's, camera froze.
It's frozen. I'm the one that's supposed to be freezing. Yeah, you're not frozen now.
Oh, yeah, I hope not. No. Yeah, I've never won a any kind of a raffle or gamble, lottery in my life. I go to Australia, the first one I enter, I win.
Yeah, well, they asked me where you were, and I told them I deported you because you won the meat raffle.
Yeah, but you won too because you got to cook it and eat it.
Well, you enjoyed it.
I had the T-bone steak. Yes, I did well, and one of the bratwurst. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't do the lamb chops.
Yeah. Well, those lamb chops weren't too bad actually. They were quite nice. Randall's hanging in a rail yard. Yeah. Been in steady stream.
Randall's hanging out at the rail yard trying to pick up an engineer.
Well, she might be a cutie.
Hello, sailor.
If we look at some of the engineers around here, yeah, you might get some in the trouble. And look at that! Isn't that a beautiful emblem? Aussie made. That was actually an Aussie company.
Yeah, I had some guy claiming it was a Scottish company. I was like, well, this said it was a Australian company.
The factory building's gone, but they did produce a lot of the modern era locomotives, particularly the diesels. And sadly, it's no longer there. It's all gone.
Right. Well, it was just as interesting. I saw the company logos on a bunch of plaques at the, we're at the display where it just kind of had all the different engineering and locomotive, like the Montreal company or whatever, all these different people that help make the railroads of New South Wales. And then I was going to get one shirt, and I couldn't decide between this shirt because I just thought this shirt was cool. But then I really liked the green one I wore yesterday. And so I decided on the green one, and then I said, to hell with it. I'm getting both.
Yeah. And with the Clyde Engineering, they made a lot of the stainless steel carriages and self-propelled electrics. The Indian Pacific and the gang carriages. If you guys ever travel on that, they were actually made by Clyde in Granville.
Okay.
A lot of the EMD, examples of Australian locomotives are also built in the same factory. Thanks for the link for the shirt. Okay, yeah, you guys can get those shirts from the Thilme Railway Museum in Thilme, which is just up here.
Yeah,
The
you can buy them online if you like them.
Yeah, the profits that they make from the t-shirts actually goes back to the museum for the restoration programs and keep the place going. Now they are opening another museum. Or there's another museum being opened up in Western
And
Sydney.
friendly people there too, except for their opinion of American food behavior. Had a little discussion with the ladies, like they didn't know I was an American at the time. They're like, "Oh, and the Americans, they have to put cheese on everything," and I'm like, "Yes, we do. You should. Meat and cheese go together. How do you not? How do so many countries like Germany and that make so many meat meals where you don't put cheese on it?" And we wanted talking about lasagna, since I was trained to make lasagna by an Italian woman. And you can't make lasagna without cheese. And we're talking about, oh, the Americans got to put cheese on top. Well, yeah.
I pay them well, guys. Stir them up. Yeah. But I mean, the museum, they've got the 3801 away at the moment because they're doing some running repairs on that. It should be back on the track soon. So that's why you didn't see the green one.
Well, the Garrett was the star of the show to me.
The static one, yes.
The
that
Garrett,
one,
yeah, the big Garrett. That's a big.
Oh wait, Australia was bitching about food.
Well, hi, Bill. She lied. They said they weren't coming in, and then they came in.
Yeah, don't worry about
that. Trust some people, I tell you. Yeah, welcome in, Monsville. Great to have you, Mon.
Yeah, but
yeah.
We weren't so much. We don't bitch about food.
No. They don't. They just overfeed you. The Australians, at least everywhere I ate, they overfeed you. Heck, even the French restaurant we went to in Sydney gave a lot more than I was expecting, because French restaurants tend to be all very let's put it all together and charge twice as much. No, it was a nice little presentation they had. A great sandwich.
We should have had dessert if we knew what the dinner was going to be.
Guests are arriving soon.
Guests are arriving soon. Quick, lock the doors, Monsville.
Well, bring them in. We'll say hi to them too.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, 484. Yeah, that's what it is, Andy. The one that's in the museum is actually officially the last steam engine to run in this state. So she's going to be preserved. She'll never run again. One of her sister locos, a 6029, in another hand, is running. The Canberra Railway Museum started restoring her into getting her back on the rails. Sadly, the museum down there went bankrupt. Went into liquidation, and a lot of money was collected to save that locomotive in particular to bring it to the museum so they can actually finish restoring getting on the rails.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's the last of her kind, I think. I don't know if South Africa still got some of theirs going, but for that Garrett, for that size in Australia, she's the last one in Australia still in steam. I have travelled on it, and I tell you what, she has got some grunt in it. That grade that we pull out of Sydney going up to Hurstville, I never gone up there.
Okay, you got to go now. All right, take care, Mons.
Okay, if you come back again, you're gonna have to lock them doors, buddy. I'm telling you. So after my beautiful guests have departed, it is a monster. It's not as high or tall as the big boy and the Challenger, but she makes it up in length. It
was big. It was big.
Yeah.
God, it was big.
Bigger than yours. Bigger than your steam engines. Yeah, so I've taken a couple of
Size
lazy.
doesn't always matter. It's what you do with it. Mine still runs.
What are you trying to say? Mine don't run. Mine do
You're
run.
the one who just said it no longer works. We are talking to Garrett. I don't know what your filthy mind's on about.
Judge it as you wish. G'day, Thomas.
Oh,
How
down
are you, buddy?
therapy.
He's working on his subway system. Okay. That sounds like a lot of fun. Who's got the runs?
Hey, Joe Rader.
No one actually. No one got food poisoning. G'day, Joe. How are you, buddy? And let's go to the next.
The next Black Mamba.
Yeah, he left just before.
Well, we had the Black Mamba, then we had the Lexington Steel, and only I think 2 people got the joke about that train in Series 3.
At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, then these guys left, and I tell you what, I got lazy. Temperature, only because the temperature drops suddenly. I think yesterday and Friday was the coldest day. Yesterday was the coldest day here. I mean, I had the heater in the bedroom and here. That's how cold it was. And the front area, like Anthony can vouch for you, like in the front, it warms up by the sun. It didn't warm up, even with the heater on. That's how cold it got here. I let Her Majesty stay in a hallway where it was actually quite warm, and she didn't budge from there all day. But I ended up getting my trains up sorted. One of the trains was misbehaving. Somehow the computer or the program lost its.
Oh, you are in the train room. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I am in the train room. Yeah,
I wasn't even paying attention to the background.
Oh, okay. And it took me a few days to try to sort out what the hell went on from last weekend's show. If you guys remember, all I had was problems. Like the real railways. And I think Sydney Trains simulated the same problem a few days later because they had nothing but problems up there too. Yeah, the buses ended up replacing all their services. They had a huge failure up there. So I did notice it did have a little bit of a problem in the program. I don't know what it is because one of the turnouts that I have up the top here, sometimes it will switch, sometimes it won't. And of course, it sends the train down a long track and causes all sorts of mayhem. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to change cameras and let's see what happens because I tried it yesterday and I got the trains running nicely all day long.
Uh-oh, you just jinxed it.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, you just announced that it was working great yesterday.
Yeah, well, let's see. We'll get this one here with my board head. Touch up my appearance. Okay. No, I'm not going to start. I'm not going to touch that. Excuse me. Oh, I can change the resolution too. Oh, look, my baldness looks better. Hey, stop poking me, will you? He junks it. Oh, hopefully I haven't. Hopefully I haven't, Tammy's, but well, let's see what happens. Now, I'll see if anybody picks it up, if no one has. But when Anthony and Joyce was making their trip over, excuse me,
we were making the trip over.
Yeah, I end up taking something back that was mine. Hang on, that's not the one you're supposed to go. Oop. That's wrong. Well, terminate schedule. Okay. All right. That didn't work well. Okay. That one. Yeah.
You took back something that was yours while we were on the way over. You took back something that was yours.
Yeah.
Now
yeah,
I'm curious. What are you up to, evil, wicked Australian that you are?
You haven't noticed anything missing at your place, have you?
Well, I haven't had time to sort things out. I had to come and fix all the cat disasters.
Right. Yeah, but I tell you what, whoever done the modifications done a very good job of it. Because I haven't been able to modify it. I've got to wait for the parts, but I got some of it going in the background. Let's see, nothing's going to derail. So I've got the one train going. I did manage to get 7 trains running on this last night, but 7 trains in one direction is just a little.
Hey, wait a minute. What's that going around? You got a yellow loco. What are those cars? I haven't seen you with those cars before. Hey! Those are railjet cars. Where the hell did you get railjet cars?
Yeah, you remember when you were diverted to Honolulu?
Wait a minute. Hey! Where's my railjet, Artie? While we diverted to Honolulu, you somehow got my railjet?
You damn right.
You mother.
I'm even converting it back to 2-rail.
You sly, sneaky. No wonder we wound up. How'd you arrange that we got stuck in Honolulu so you could get a freaking railjet out of my basement?
Well. You know, it's who you know in the aviation industry, Anthony. I'm surprised you didn't notice it missing.
I haven't had time to check all that. I had to fix all the damage the cats did on the table, and then I had to set up for the live stream. And so I was.
Well, you see, I bribed your cats, and it was very easy to do. You see, I just gave them a whole couple of packs of what do you call it, catnip and cat treats too. And yeah, they done me a good favor. Love your cats. Yeah, well, see,
those cats are dead meat.
See, I had to make a diversion.
I just have somebody else I have questions for.
Who?
Kendra. She was supposed to be down here guarding it just in case you tried to do something sneaky.
She was sleeping.
You still owe me my money, you son of a bitch!
Oh, don't you go there, down there. We seen your kids around here. Yeah, we seen them crossbred. Yeah, I showed you. I told you
I owed you one last favor, so now you better pay me. Because I think this guy's going to be pretty pissed at me. This gang is pretty damn pissed. Stupid traitor.
Yeah, actually, where is it? There.
I was hiding you out. You turn around and backstab me and help this bastard you were hiding from? Can't trust a kangaroo.
Nah,
put you in the driveway and run you over. I should do you like a wallaby or the way Artie does echidnas.
Using a soccer ball. Cool one, Skibby. Yeah. Well, it's amazing what you do with a bit of gun leaves and Australian native food for them, you know. She was going through withdrawals there. But mind you, how tasty was a kid in the can, though? The little Joe that was in the can. I bet you that was tasty.
Kyan loved it.
I bet he enjoyed every minute of it.
He even enjoyed the koala in a can.
Oh yeah. But it was for you guys. I told you that was for you guys to eat on the plane in case you guys got hungry.
I'm sorry. We opened it up and decided Cayenne would like it.
Cayenne would like it. Okay.
We already brought home Tim Tams and other stuff.
Right. Okay. But yeah, so I actually acquired it. Like, I waited till you guys jumped in the car and went to the airport, and I quickly ran into the basement and collected my rail jet out. And then I followed you guys out. You went on Delta, I went on United.
Yeah.
But I
And that little diversion to Honolulu gave you that few minutes to get in. And I was there for 3 weeks, and you hid it from me. I was even in that damn train room.
Yeah, well, I hit it well, didn't I? Yeah.
Apparently so. Although it does explain you walking funny.
Oh, that wasn't the train that I was hiding. That was the money.
Good night, folks.
But no. More seriousness, I mean, yeah, I finally did get myself a rail jet, guys. I'm still waiting for
Yeah, but you didn't have to get mine.
That was mine.
It was mine.
I'm having a hell of a time trying to get it to go.
I got the receipts. I got the boxes. You at least didn't get the box that came in.
I got the box that came. Well,
Can't trust an Aussie in your house.
But I got the fake receipts here.
Can't trust an Aussie.
Well, of course you can. You
After
can trust
all,
us. You can trust us. We're going to take back what's ours. At the end of the, but I mean,
and all I stole was your little Valiant Charger and your little mini truck.
My shaggin' wagon. Anthony,
yeah, I stole your shag wagon.
Oh yeah, I had some memories in that. Oh well, I'm gonna have to get another one now. Anthony Kaya sent it to Artie. All right.
Kyan would know better. He wouldn't have stolen Opa's railjet.
Is that like a tuna in a can? No. It was a little bit more bigger than a tuna in a can.
Oh, I don't know. Tunas can get pretty big.
G'day, Andy Dobson.
Andy Dobson, how are you?
But mind you, I was trying to find those kangaroos and koalas in the can at every souvenir shop we actually stopped at, and I managed to find one, so that was good. And also, have you tried the koala and kangaroo poo yet?
Oh, the koala poo.
The koala poo, was that any good?
Yeah, Joyce just put it out, or whichever one. One of them. We haven't opened the other one.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because we eat well. Yeah. You gotta admit we do eat well here, even if we do eat things that are very unorthodox. We do eat well here. But Tammy, it's nice and sweet. Trust me.
Yeah, I'll eat the koala poo and the kangaroo poo. But yeah, and you sadly happily eat Rocky Mountain oysters, and you eat the large ones provided to you by Rambo there in whatever that town was.
Where did we buy them?
Over by Goulburn.
Yeah. And was it Goulburn?
Wasn't it? Because didn't Gary come over with us?
Oh, yeah, he did too. Yes, he did. Yeah. Yeah. But they were good. I mean, as I said, they aren't orthodox.
Hey, you want to eat Rocky Mountain oysters Australian style? Go ahead. Not me.
Chicken. But hey, at least but you got to say, at least you can say now that you also
now
ate Kendra's kin folk.
for anybody here who doesn't know what Rocky Mountain oysters are, it's what they call, it's a delicacy in the U.S. Rocky Mountains, and I assume elsewhere. It's sheep and bull testicles.
But you look at the size of the ones we got here. We got
yeah. I saw your Aussie version.
Yeah, you didn't show that, did you?
I thought we showed the picture on your one live stream or my one live stream.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. But you didn't show them when I was trying.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just proves the stereotype about Australians being sheep molesters, because the biggest statue you have in your country is of a sheep with his big balls hanging down. Oh, there's that one, Andy.
Yeah, well, I was going to take him out to this very nice Malaysian restaurant here in town.
It wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have eaten anything there.
But my dear friend, he doesn't like eating Asian food, so I couldn't do that. So the next best thing I could do with him was basically you have him try kangaroo. You have to tell it. Oh, that matters. Tammy, they were huge. I mean, I could have left it. It was a 2-man job, that one.
I learned about them when I was 5 years old, and we went out to Colorado, and somebody tried to get my dad to try it, and his my Uncle Rick, my mom's brother, said, "Do you know what those actually are, Howard?" That was my dad.
Yeah.
Dad's like, "No." My Uncle Rick told my dad's like, "What? No." So I was like, so at age 5, I was like, I ain't eating no sheep and buffalo testicles. And what person decided, you know what sounds good for dinner, Bob? Some buffalo testicles.
Well, that's probably the only thing that was left over. I mean, you have a look at it. I mean,
I'm sure there was some starving guy that's like, Bob, we've ate all the buffalo. There's nothing left except the testicles, and I'm starving.
Well, that's why basically goes. I remember my granddad when and no stuffed pussy. I definitely pass on the stuffed pussy, but deep fried crickets. I tell you, that's gone in. That's very interesting. It's almost like eating pretzels, a very woody flavor.
I must have appealed to her maternal instincts.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anytime somebody says pussy, I immediately go to James Bond from Goldfinger.
Well, right. Okay.
Dreaming.
Yeah, but you can live on it. Yeah. That's about right too, Andy. But I remember Granddad when he used to
that's what we're talking about, Randall. We were already referencing them that they're Rocky Mountain oysters, but who decided they changed their names so people would not, if you put it on the menu as buffalo testicles, deep fried, nobody's gonna eat them.
Unless they're Eastern European or Chinese, they'll eat them. Or Asian, they'll eat them.
Some cultures will eat anything.
Yeah, they would.
But like I said, who was the first guy? I mean, bollocks.
Bollocks. Yeah. Yeah, that depends on which side. That depends on which side of the country you're at, there, Andy. So now I managed to get 3 trains running without any issues. You see in the background there.
Well, I see 2 running. 1 has stopped. Will it run again?
Yeah, well, it's letting the passengers get off, you see. It's at the station. At least my passengers get a chance to get out, even if the doors don't open. I do get a chance to get out eventually. Um, yeah.
What's your Aussie announcement? All passengers without a ticket, get the off.
That's the one, yeah. You remember that one, don't you? Yeah.
Absolutely. You only said it to us about 30 times. We're starting to feel unwanted. Every time we stop somewhere, all right, everybody without a ticket, get the out.
Well, they only done those announcements when we got to our final destination.
Exactly.
I never said that halfway through the
Final destination sounds so horrifying when you think about it.
Well,
when I travel, I don't want to talk about final destinations.
Final destination? Well, home destination. I mean, when we got home, it's like, okay, everybody
Just
has
our destination. You've reached your destination. It's not your final one. It's just your destination for that day or that part of it.
Yeah.
Final is just so, well, final.
But Joyce had fun. Joyce had a smile on her face when I said that. She had a bit of a chuckle. So yeah, I'll be manager. As you see, I've got 3 going.
Joyce was just happy to be getting out of the back seat.
Yeah, that too. Particularly on the long trip. I mean, I know that trip to Melbourne was a big long one. Next time we'll just cut the trips up in. Okay, why did you go up that way for? You weren't supposed to go up there.
Uh-oh. The trains have got a mind on their own. Artificial intelligence is taking over. Run!
Oh, God help the train system in Sydney, because they're having a few problems with the new computerized rail network. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the same people that think driverless trains are a good idea.
Well, Rio Tinto, just before you guys arrived here, the same railroad company that had a big train derailment last year and shut down the rail line for about 3 months, had another derailment and made a mess again. So I don't know if they've seen the light this time for them to go back to normal normal drivers in the cab or engineers in the cab. But I think it'd be wise for them. It'd be cheaper than cleaning up the mess every 6 months. Just like in Terminator movies, Anthony. Yeah.
It's alive. It's alive.
For 2 northbound.
I'm not concerned about artificial intelligence. I'm concerned with real stupidity.
Really? Thanks, Steve. I love you too, buddy. I really do love you too, bud. Geez, I lost the track of thought again. But yeah, it is scary. I mean, when they look at the cost and how much it costs them with having trains being operated from, halfway down the coast. I mean, when you're in the train, you can actually feel when something's wrong. But when you're in the seat and behind a computer, you're not going to feel nothing. But yeah, that's where it's going to go. The 3-hour wait 3 hours for 2 northbounds. That's what happened to me when I was coming back from Baltimore to. I was going from Baltimore to. Charleston. We were at the station. We were instead of waiting at the station, we went down the line into the siding. G'day, Papa John, how are you?
Hey, Papa John.
And we sat there for a good half hour, waiting for a freight train to come up. I mean, even that yard wasn't that far away. They could have at least held that train until the passenger train gone through.
Yep.
It just didn't make sense at all, and they wonder why they run late all the time. But hey, it's their system. That's the way they run it. One day they might see the light. But over here, if the passenger trains stop, they just get the buses out. Some bus companies actually make good money out of that because even though they got 20 buses sitting in the shed doing nothing, they're still getting paid for it. So, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to do much more this week. I think what I'm going to start experimenting with this week on the layout, I'm going to start doing the bi-directional running because pretty much everything that's on the layout now is
for sale. Make a bid, anybody. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, if they show me the cash, they can have it. Especially after, I've been having problems with some of the carriages in the signing. Yeah. Well, they don't do that here, thankfully.
That's why I like Germany. Passenger trains always have priority. Freight trains run at night, or if they're running during the day, they have to get out of the way for the passenger service.
I gotta say, with the way the trains are timed here, they're not too bad, particularly within the Pacific and the GAN that goes up north to Darwin. Like those passenger trains rarely have to sit in a siding, but if they do, they actually have it where the train's actually in the early hours of the morning and people can get out and enjoy the view.
All right. Good night, Mom. Good night, Tammy.
Good. Everyone that's here that missed out, Tammy is giving away the pirate layout and the Candyland and what was the other one?
Willy Wonka and the pirate.
Good home. Go and check out her video. Only not quite as punctual. I've got to say our trains here are reasonably punctual. Within 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, within 5 minutes of being late or early. That's the one that's got the cruise on it. We're still waiting for the new ones to come into service. Hopefully they'll be into service by Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would criticize and it's not even fair to criticize or call it criticism, is like with Australian trains, there just is not a great level of interconnectivity. It's unfortunately because of the mountains and other things, it's much longer to take a train to certain places than it is to drive. And while that's true anywhere, it's always faster to drive than to take a train in most cases. In Australia,
good night, Jason.
Oh, hey, Jason. In Australia, it seems like it's an hour and a half to 2 hour drive to Sydney, but the train can be anywhere from an hour and a half to 4 hours, depending on where you catch it and time of day.
You see, our passenger services here are government run, and unfortunately, the bean counters in there haven't got any intelligence. Now, particularly my line, you've seen how windy my line is here. It's almost like going through the Swiss Alps. It's that windy. When they had the experts in here trying to evaluate which will be the most suitable train, because they want to do a high-speed service between Wollongong and Sydney. Now, the train that actually could do the service is the new double-decker Swiss trains that they got. Mm-hmm. They can actually do high speed. I mean, what are they doing? About 150, 160 kilometers an hour through the bends. The switches and that can't cater for it, but they decided to go for a cheaper Korean option where the train on the average speed is only going to be 20 kilometers an hour faster.
Right.
The Swiss one, we would have been in Sydney within 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Running on the same schedule.
Right.
And that same train would have been going up the Blue Mountains. Then it would have been worth us going by train up to the Blue Mountains, because it would only been total travel time would be almost the same as what it was when we drove up there. Would have been worth doing it by train.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, Artie, though, is you already have the highways up there. Then if you were going to put trains in there, unless the lines are already there, I mean, in many places there used to be lines and they're discontinued and pulled out. But, you know, the more transportation you put into those areas, the more you're tearing out the nature that draws people to it.
Well, we've already got the rail infrastructure in place.
Right. Okay.
It's a double track system all the way up to Sydney, and from Sydney all the way to Lithgow, which is where I was heading when we left it up to Mount Victoria.
Yeah.
It's duplicated lines, so they don't have to put in new infrastructure. They just had to get the proper rolling stock to actually do to be able to manage those bends. But they went for the cheaper option, and everybody's just shaking their heads. I mean, the new train is only going to improve its time by 20 minutes. So we still got about an hour and 10 minutes on average to get to Sydney.
Okay.
And that's going from Wollongong Station into Sydney itself.
Okay.
So
into Sydney Central.
Into Sydney Central, yeah.
Okay.
But they have improved the system in such a way that now, like during peak hour, like we went on those trains, but the trains before us, they don't all terminate in Central. They can go into the heart of the city and under the city, drop all the workers off. Like, as you see, a lot of people down here commute to Sydney to work. I mean, I'd say be 55 to 60% of the population in Wollongong now works in Sydney because there's a lack of work down here for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that 60%, and probably half of them go to the city, other half go to the west. I can't believe it. No hiccups. I better shut up. I don't want to jinx myself. US doesn't have enough passenger train routes either. You know, we have a missing link from Wollongong, which they've been pushing for many, many years, and that's going up a steep grade. But sadly, we don't have the only way you can get up that grade now is if you have a horse system, because all of our passenger trains don't have the most important ingredient to go up steep grades, and that's sand. If they end up doing, I think the Swiss double deckers do have sand. I'm not too sure. But the line going up the Moss Vale line that brings it up near Picton, up near the museum, if they open that line up, there will be a big patronage coming out of Wollongong going to Western Sydney. But you need something fast to do it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it doesn't pay, because it's still quicker to go by car than what it is to go by train. That's why we've driven in a lot of places. Yeah, Jay, government project runs it, but they look at where they make the most profit. And
the problem is, even though the government owns some of the track and runs the passenger service, they still are beholden to the freight companies as primary. So
yeah,
it's a combination of things there, and whether they would just see it as viable, is it worth it? You know, that's the problem. Americans sold out on trains when we built the big highways.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, the automotive companies bought up a lot of the rail and tram systems to shut them down to get Americans to buy cars. I mean, GM bought the tram system in the shuttle service in Chicago or something like that. and
Yep.
basically shut it down so that people would buy cars.
Well, more or less, that's pretty much what happened in Sydney, Australia. But now they're putting them back in again. We're getting our trolleys back again, and the planes too. Well, yeah, actually, Jason, that's what's taking a lot of the airline industry is what's taken a lot of long distance travel away from the rail, and road for that matter. I remember back in the late 80s and 90s, we were like for Answer Pioneer, for example, the company that I used to drive for, we used to have about 2-3 buses a night just going between Melbourne and Sydney, or during a summer vacation going from Sydney to Brisbane. We'd have 3 coaches, bus loads going up. The tickets were $50 one way, but now airlines are doing it pretty much a similar airfare, so the airlines are now cashing in on it. And in the United States, I mean, the competition's a lot more fiercer than here. I mean, look at Spirit Airlines. You're really jammed in like sardines in there.
Mm-hmm.
What did it cost me? It cost me.
It's, because again, Australia is such a huge country, and people, it is more practical, for example, to fly from Sydney to Brisbane, or that, because the train is so long and relatively slow, and even drive is a long drive. It's more practical to fly, and there are the cheap airline companies. But again, I know everybody goes, oh, here he goes talking about Germany again, but Germany's the only rail system I know that I could compare other systems with. My limited experience with Australia, and of course, what we have here in America. But for example, it is about an 8-hour train ride by high-speed train from Hamburg in the north to Munich in the south. It's about an 8-hour train ride. It's an hour and a half to 2-hour at most plane ride. And it's probably a 10-hour drive on the Autobahn, 10 to 12 hours. But Germans, except for a few corporate people that are going to fly down and then turn around and fly back after a meeting, everybody takes the train. They'll take that long train ride because more space than on a plane and a hell of a lot less stress than driving a car.
Yeah.
And it's easier to get up, move around, get your laptop and computer out than it is on an airline, because there's just more room, personal space on the train than there is on the airline.
Andy, Spirit uses Airbuses, but I mean, ANA, or Nippon Airlines, they actually had a specially made jumbo jet for domestic use, and I tell you what, that had a double the capacity of what you got now in the jumbo. Or the passenger capacity was same as what's in an A380 now. But you see, our rail service here, the passenger trains got priority during the day, up to about 8, 9 o'clock, and that's when our freight trains start coming in. All our freight goes at night, within the metro area. Outside the metro area, the freight trains run all the time, because that's where the big money is. The government is making money, not just what they miss out on the passengers, they make up on the freight. Easier than using planes. And but you have a look at the speed that they travel in there too, Steve. They got a big population to move, for an average, if I don't take a domestic flight, I'll use an example. From my place to Melbourne. Now, Anthony knows where I live now. If I don't go to my local airport, my main airport is Sydney. So it takes me an hour and a half to get there. And you got to be at the airport
Yep.
Usually an hour, 2 hours before departure. So there's 3 hours gone already, right? Then I've got another an hour and a half there on the plane, the flight down. So that's already 5 hours, 6 hours gone. You're live down at Melbourne. By the time I get to the destination, it's 7, 8 hours. Hell, I might as well just jump on the car and drive down.
Yeah.
However, if I had to come from here, yeah, it will cut me back a bit of time. For people that live in a city, well, that comes to their advantage. But you still have to go to
And
the airport.
Steve brings up another point, which is true in Europe as well, is that the main train stations are usually in the heart of the city, right to all the other public transportation is tied into it. And bigger cities like Frankfurt, Berlin, Hamburg, they have 3 or 4 stations in the city.
Yeah, that's right. And like with him, like me, I've got 4 or 5 minute drive to my station. If I had to go by train up in the Sydney to then get to the airport, that's nearly 2 hours, 2 hours just to get to the airport.
Right. Now, you look at Toledo, where we have an Amtrak station. All right. If you are traveling by train, like you've decided to visit relatives in Toledo and you're coming from Boston, all right, it's however long that train ride's going to be, but somebody better be at the Toledo station to pick you up. If you're just randomly, well, I'm going to go to Toledo and do whatever you do in Toledo, and you hop on the train from Chicago or Boston or whatever, and you come to Toledo, okay, how are you going to get around once you arrive at Toledo? You're going to rent a car? Well, there's not a car rental place within blocks of the Toledo train station.
And even the car rental, the way that they do car rentals,
you'll have a couple of seedy taxis that might hang out there, or you might call a taxi and then tell them to get you to a car rental place and rent a car. But like in Toledo, it's not convenient. And yet my kids, my daughter and my son, have taken relatively long train rides from Toledo. They've gone to, my daughter went to Philadelphia to meet, because her husband, my son-in-law, before they married, he lived in Philadelphia. So she would go spend the weekend in Philadelphia or go spend a week in Philadelphia. And she took Amtrak. She also, when it was cheap enough, she flew to Philadelphia, but he was there to pick her up.
Yeah.
And then when she came back, I had to pick her up. And I had to pick my son up at 3 a.m. at the train station in Toledo. And Lord knows you don't want him standing around alone down there at 3 a.m.
No. And that's the thing. I mean, you don't have your passage trains run in the middle of the night instead of during the daylight hours. Well, that's just how it ends up happening in their schedule. But one thing I did find, particularly this last trip in America, it's getting harder and harder. Like, I don't have a credit card, and it's getting harder and harder to rent a car with a Visa debit card.
Yep. If you're from out of country, yeah.
And even if you are within the country, like, they did have a policy where they would actually rent you a car if you had a departure date, which I did have on my ticket. And it's getting harder and harder to rent a car in the United States. And sadly, I had to, and I'm thankful for those people that did come and pick me up in the station, like Tammy, she come and picked me up at the airport, and I had Ray Bell. I had
all right, Jason, take care.
Take care, buddy. I also had Dave Thurber from Crooked River, and you as well, that took me to the airport at Detroit. If it wasn't for you guys, I'd be thumbing most of my way around the country.
And that's a terrible thing to consider. Poor Artie out there with his thumb out.
You'd have a ball. You'd be there videotaping and me trying to hit you right.
Some creepy trucker with a windowless van picks you up.
Yeah, I might end up in Mexico then. Yeah. Then I see he went on the dumb Aussie and they go, no, we don't want you. They dump me in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, it's just getting really hard. Like over here in Australia, I can go out and rent a car if I need to. But in the US, particularly like at one of the places where I rented from since 2009, 2008, I couldn't get it.
That is one of the things Joyce and I learned. We learned it in the UK. And now with Australia, that if we don't know somebody, we would have to rent a car. And gee, of the two places we'd have to rent a car, the places that drive on the other side of the road with the steering wheel on the other side of the front of the car, that would not be something I would enjoy trying to get used to. Again, because when I travel in Western Europe, I can get train to bus to close enough that Joyce and I, 20 years of travel, 21 years of travel, we've never had to rent a car. Now in the UK, it did prevent us from doing a couple of things because we didn't rent a car, but we still got to the places we wanted to go and were able to move around because we rented places in the heart of where we wanted to be, like in Liverpool and Edinburgh. We were in the heart of the tourist area, and so we didn't need mass transit other than when we went out to the bay near Edinburgh. We took a long bus ride out there. It took about an hour to go to the far extremities of the Edinburgh suburbs.
Going.
Yeah, and you really do have to. Yeah, Steve says many countries are going to cards only. Yeah, I mean there are so many places in Germany where when you had cash, the last time we were in Germany, they were a little. Do you have a card? Well, yes, but we wanted to use the cash.
Over here, if you flash the cash, there's only two places I've seen that they don't take cash, but most of the places here, you flash the cash, you come in, no problem. They prefer the cash because it's instant money for them, you see. But even with the cards, I mean, my credit rating is pretty good. It took me a long time to get it good again, but it's
well,
the money's there. I can pay for it.
Yeah.
Even there was one option there where they had, because I don't go to the rental cars direct. I'll go through booking sites.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one booking site where you can prepay the car for the duration. And like you already paid for it and pay for the duration, it's like, okay, you already paid for it. Okay, fine, there you go. Don't know Home Depot with cash. Yeah, well, over here it doesn't matter with our Bunnings whether you give it a card or cash. They'll accept both here. We have some normality still. And they are trying to enforce it where cash. G'day, Lee.
Hey, Ian.
Haven't seen you for a while, buddy. Hopefully you're well. Let me change them.
Well, Joyce and I, we took out we took out about 500 in Australian dollars from an ATM within a day or two of arriving in Australia. And we paid cash for a lot of things, and then we never, and by the way, that's about $350 American. And then we never took cash out again. Everything was just card, beep, card, beep, card, beep, card, beep, card, beep, $3 pop, card. $2 bubble gum, card.
Yeah, well, we do that too, but I mean, I prefer to have the cash in my hand.
I tend to, but it just became easier for us.
The only problem, I don't know, the only thing that when I'm overseas, in particular, the only thing that I fear the most about that is the fees. the transaction fees when you keep going using the card when you're overseas.
Right. Well, our card doesn't charge. We've got an international card, so we don't pay international usage fees. That's why we use the credit card. We never used the credit card here in America except for certain online places. We use the debit card everywhere: grocery store, gas station, hobby store. Occasionally we'll pay cash. We'll have cash because Joyce and I still prefer to pay with cash, but Joyce we were out to dinner with her family a few weeks ago, and we were talking about, putting some cash down, and they were all like, we don't have cash. We don't have cash. We don't have, it's like, are we the only ones that still pay cash? And her family's like, yeah, we card or Google Pay everything.
Yeah. It just, it's handy, but I know why rental cars have stopped doing what they have done, because there's been so many people that haven't paid their bills. I can understand that totally, but when you have a regular customer, they should have something there for the regular customers that do pay their bills. Have their listing right. Yeah, okay, this person's rented from us for X number of years, never left us stranded. Give them the car. They should have that type of listing on the system. They all got the listing for people that haven't done the right thing, where they go, do not rent this car to.
Right.
Now they should do the same thing for the regular customers. One particular company that I rented from for nearly 30 years, but it's not just cars. I also rented trucks from them, and that's budget. All of a sudden, this trip that you came over, there was some issues that I still got to deal with, which are coming up next week. Going to try to deal with them because I've been renting vehicles from them and trucks for over 30 years, nearly 30 years now. Why all of a sudden there's a problem? And the biggest reason I went to budget is because of their unlimited kilometers, particularly in their cars. I was lucky Hertz, which is just up the road here. They looked after us particularly when you guys were here. They looked after me well. Unlimited kilometers. Remember, we had that first car, and they said we only got 3,000 kilometers before it's due for service. I add up the kilometers quickly and go, we're going to need to change the car. And they go, yep, no problem, bring it in. They gave us a brand new one. By the time we finished with it, it's due for service.
If it wasn't due for service before we rented it, it is now, yeah.
It was running well, and even the guy said, "Oh, that's good." Because
what the hell did you do with our car, Mr. Zero? Well, I drove up to the top of a couple of mountains. I drove through a rainforest. I had these Americans, and they just kept making me take them everywhere. I was their hostage.
Exactly. Yeah.
After you get to the car, you will take us to this place now. You will drive the speed limit, you will draw no attention to yourself, or you will be shot. That's why Joyce sat in the back. Joyce had the Luger right behind you, just in case.
Yeah, I felt the poke in me back. I was wondering what that was. Now I do know. Okay. But when I returned the car, I've always been they gave me a clean car. I returned them the clean car. Now.
Oh, good. You got rid of the bodies.
Yeah. Well, I got rid of those bloodstains too.
The wallaby blood. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a wallaby blood. Who was it that said he didn't see hitchhikers? Because there are certain people that get disposed of hitchhikers.
You crazy Aussies.
Yeah, but that's
it was echidna blood all over the front end.
Yeah, the punch of the tire. But no, I had the car cleaned up and took them back over to them and go. The cleaners were very disappointed. They didn't have no work to do. But they got the car and put it there. You didn't have to do that. And they go, no, that's the way it is. Like, I got the cream car that was like new. I returned it to the same state that I got it in. And I go, oh, that mark that was up on top of the car, yeah, the detailer got that out too for you. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. They took the car and straight out for rental again, and that's the way it's always been. My Honda dealer is no cash now. Well, look, Andy, if you got $6,000 in your hand and you're gonna buy something and they knock you back, you just go, right, bye bye. I'm going somewhere else, or they're gonna take my money.
No, in America, the car dealerships are getting a little rougher because they want to make the loan. They'd rather loan it to you. They'd probably tell you put 3,000 down, keep 3,000 because they make money on the loan. But most car dealerships in America still, you show up with cash, they'll even mark the price down more.
Yeah, just the money.
They'll claim they sold it for more and claim the tax on it. Same thing with construction. You bring somebody in for the driveway and you ask for a quote. They're like, well, it looks like it's going to be $20,000, $30,000 to do all this. How are you going to pay for this? Cash. They're like, cash, money, cash. Yeah, we're paying all in cash. They'll be like 15,000, 12,000.
Yeah, because the money's there.
Yeah, and they're not going to use. They're going to use the same amount of stuff anyhow. But the big markup is because to pay the taxes and all that else. But what they're going to do is take the cash and then claim they only did a $6,000 job. And since there's no check or credit card to check it against, it's their bill and what they deposit.
Well, it's not even that.
Well, it is here.
Well, I mean, it's a lot harder now to do that. Very, very hard. At the end of the day, you got your cash in your hand. You don't have your transaction fee. You don't have to pay someone to go in to do the banking and doing the wages and whatnot. You got the cash,
right?
And you can pay everything out instantly. You go, okay, your employee, he doesn't have to wait till you get to the bank and do the bank transfer. It goes, right, you know.
She didn't say the joke.
Where's that cash? Yeah, but I mean, you can pay everybody off straight, pay them out straight away, and if someone came and gave me cash for a job, I'll go, yep, straight away. I had a customer up in Sydney, or up in Newcastle. I had a policy when I was transporting goods and with COD. And the way I did it was the money had to be in the bank account before I got to the destination. The only way that freight gets off the back of my truck was if there's payment in the bank. This one customer that I had, Kelvin. Yeah, Kyle.
Kyle, you're in the wrong place if you're calling people gentlemen. You're in the wrong place.
Yeah. The guy gave me a guilty conscience, the bastard did. Because what he would do was, if I quoted, say, $5,000 to do a job, to do a run, with delivering his goods, as I was strapping down or chaining down my load, he's gone up to the bank, is taking out $5,000 cash, gets back before I even finish chaining my load down. I mean, really, I kept on telling him, we're in the long business. We need to go in the bank robbery business. Because he was gone like 15 minutes, comes back with the cash. He paid me cash up front. It's like, now I've got to deliver it. I can't hang out. But yeah, he flashed me the cash and I go, yeah, I'll do anything for you. Or could you do an extra run for me?
And Artie was not kidding. He meant anything.
Do it. Well, for him, the amount of money he was paying, I would do anything for him. If I had to bury a body for him, I would have done it for him because I know he'd pay me in cash. And there's no paper trail. So, but at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, cash was still talk. Over here in Australia, I know the last government did do that and brought into law where businesses cannot refuse cash. If a customer comes in with cash, they cannot refuse cash because cash is still legal tender. It is still money and payment for goods and services. The company cannot refuse cash. And that was a good thing, and that needs to be done worldwide, really. There are some places that won't take it in, you can understand, because the areas they are, but then they got to say on the door, no cash accepted. Because we know there are bad areas where, it's very risky to hold a lot of cash because risk of being held up. You can understand that, but general stores and supermarkets and stuff like that, they cannot refuse cash.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my trains are still running.
Yes, they are.
And I've only got 3 running.
They're actually rolling.
Yeah. And they've been stopping. They've been my PC is cash only, no credit cards. Well, exactly. Well, it's because I don't know what it's like over US, but I know here now we're actually getting charged an extra fee on their cards. The bank is charging.
A lot of stores will charge, if you use a card, they'll charge a fee because they have to pay a fee to use the card. So there are a lot of stores that will be cash only.
And you're getting it
especially
here too
smaller
now.
Businesses.
Yeah, that's happening here too. Like they'll charge you
because the credit card companies charge the businesses money to let those businesses access the credit card system.
Yeah.
So
and it's not cheap.
A lot of small shops will say, to hell with it, we just won't accept credit cards.
Yeah. Are you both getting trains? No, only I am, Kyle. I have been running trains. Let me show you. I've been working on the automation system. I know they're only going in one direction at this point in time. I've only got 3 trains running, and it's been running reasonably well. I do have
only 3? What kind of rinky-dink operation is this? I'm out of here.
Well, we didn't have no derailments or accidents yet. I spoke to you soon.
Yet.
Hang on. I just had, that engine that you bought me.
All right. Good night, Andy. We will see you in the morning or afternoon.
I'll see you tonight, buddy. Well, remember
I've been waiting for you to post a real video where you say, look at this lovely gift Anthony and Joyce bought me.
Well, I got to finish doing that video up because I did actually get some shots of it last night. Well, the one that you got me just ran up the back of the rail jet. Down here. So we spoke too soon. So we have an accident down there where the engine, the 85 class electric engines run up the back of the what's his name? The rail jet. Ooh, kinky. Hang on, where's the other one? I'm missing a train. What's going on here? Someone went down the wrong path. Again.
They're all lined up there. Somebody got stopped, and now they're all backed up on each other. Maybe.
One's in the wrong track.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sounds like that tricky point opened up again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what happened. Yeah, where I've had that issue.
Good night, Joe Rader.
Good night, Joe. I'm going to call it quits too. Yeah, she's done the same trick again.
Yeah, but it lasted through the whole show. If you had only gone an hour and 15 minutes, it would have been good. We went 3 minutes too long.
Yeah, that's exactly. Because I'm having issues with the program down in that far end there. I've got double slip there, and it's not turning properly. It forgets to change one of the turnout blades. But it ran pretty well.
Yeah, it was running very smoothly all show.
We're going to work out why it does that. But yeah, it's yeah. I've got to work out why that's happening. And then I'm going to start playing around with doing it in bi-directional in the coming week. I've got a few appointments this week for for my shoulder and a few other medical checkups. So the doctor wants me to go and do a checkup on. No, I'm not dropping dead. Okay, he just wants me to do a checkup.
Oh, that's okay. I've got to check up myself on Wednesday, whenever the 25th is, right there. Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I got to.
And I got a jury duty summons that I have to call in on Monday.
Okay, you poor bugger. You timed your holiday pretty well. Down under problems. Yeah, it is down under problem there, Papa John. Yeah, it is down under. Bad showrunner should have yanked. Fine, Steve. Oh, I got a text message. Somebody wants me. No, my doctor, she wants me to go on this 24-hour blood pressure monitoring. She's not happy with my blood pressure. But I said to her, I'm just under a lot of stress and things that I had to deal with. Not so much with these guys, but I mean, other things in general. And it's like, your blood pressure be all over the place. But before Anthony and Joyce arrived that week before that, my blood pressure was okay. So, don't know. So on Monday, Tuesday,
Joyce has that effect on men.
Okay. I'm not putting the blame on her, but I am going to. I'm going to go and get that done. I think that's Monday, Tuesday. I've got to do a 24-hour one. I had one done last year. I feel fine, apart from this cold that I'm just about got over. Then I'll get my cortisone injection done on Wednesday on my shoulder, so that's done. Thursday I got to go up to Sydney, up to Parramatta, up to see my lawyers. Man, we should have called in there when we were up at Parramatta because I got an email from them. Oh, you need to sign this document. Man.
Yes, and?
Yeah, so I'm going to go up there on Thursday. You get all documents all signed up. And because I don't want to be messing around then. Friday, who knows what I'm going to do Friday. Oh, the other two bits for my rail jet should arrive. We're going to see it's going to be actually interesting to see how quick. What's that company called? Lady Put or whatever they call themselves?
Oh, Model Bond Shop Lippa.
I did put in an order for the Studentwagen and the cafe car for the railjet. All jokes aside, no, I did not take the railjet from Anthony. It would have been too good.
Really? Because mine's gone still. Uh-oh. You say you were joking? And mine's missing. Uh-oh.
Oh. You're going to have to ask the cats. They probably sold it for all that catnip. But I've got to sort out that engine because for some reason it just doesn't want to go. The lights are on, but nobody's home.
I don't believe in cruelty to animals, but for my two cats, I'll make an exception. The only cruelty I go for to animals is whatever they do to make cows taste good. I'm all in favor of it.
Okay, all right.
But enough of that.
If that's the way you roll, fair enough.
Do you know what that poor animal went through to make your burger? Whatever it was, it made it taste delicious.
Oh yeah, and it also depends on how good the barbecue plate is too.
Well, there's that too.
Garlic, a lot of garlic. Yeah.
I'll be barbecuing for the family tomorrow.
But I've got to say that seasoning that I have been using is actually not too bad either. It really made that brisket pop too, didn't it? I'm going to have to do another one. So anyway, guys, I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to go out and do a few things. I'm
going to go to bed.
Yeah. And I'm going to go and clean up the mess that the the Pixie has been doing it in the front area, you know, protests.
Knock it off, Pixie.
Oh yeah, she's chewing the lounge now that, you know, in revenge that I got rid of her two best friends.
Hey,
Anthony
she was
Joyce.
chewing that up before we left. You had to put the metal fencing up on the walls because she was chewing at everything.
Oh yeah, that's because I wasn't giving her attention that you guys are
Right.
you know,
Well, now you're home to give her that attention, and we're not in the way, taking you away all day.
yeah, but she's still, you know, I got my two friends.
Good night,
Didn't bring
Steve,
them
John,
back.
and Randall.
Yeah, good night, guys. So I'm gonna call it quits here for now. Anthony, nice to see you got home safely. Again, you and Joyce are always welcome to come over here.
Yeah, it's already in the plans. It's in the plans.
Okay.
Fortunately, apparently the drugs do work.
Hey, I could have got you some more down here, but you said no.
Now, the one work that started to wear off on the way into Detroit, it really started wearing off where the turbulence started getting to me a little stronger than it had been earlier. But the one pill was good enough to get me through the day.
Well, next time, if you do need some extras, you know you can get them at cost price here.
Okay.
Yep. So, and Crystal was asking, you didn't bring your American friend over, and I go, well, I did tell him that you had cheap drugs here, but he said no.
Well, I had the insurance, the prescriptions, everything, but I was good. I didn't need to take up anything. I survived. It worked. It was an amazing trip. Joyce and I are eternally grateful. You were an amazing host, and you won't accept our offers. That's why at least you got that locomotive and decoders from me as a gift, because you weren't going to take anything else.
I got what I wanted from you. All I wanted from you guys is to be here for my birthday, and you guys.
Had I been able to get to an ATM one last time, and I know I could have had I asked, but I was just waiting to see if I could sneak off and get one. We might have done you like a hooker and left a little money on the pillow after we left, but.
Bugger, when you say you're coming back again?
Just call me Artie of the morning party.
Oh, God. Yeah.
All right. So anyhow, we better end it. We've said goodbye 3 times already.
Okay. Hey, the Aussie goodbye. All right, guys. Till next week. Have fun. Stay safe and bye.
Bye, everybody.